right, we are live. Just let the page refresh here and then we'll dive right in.
All right.
Make money without understanding.
All right, cool. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Had a good weekend. Pretty relaxing. Went down to the beach last night for dinner. And so we're just waiting on the baby whenever she wants to come out.
Clock's ticking, dude. You got like another week?
Yeah.
11 days, right?
11 days. Yeah. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. How about you? How's your weekend?
It was pretty good. It's pretty good. Went golfing Friday, played in a league, and actually won it, which was cool. And then Saturday, Caden had his first soccer game, which was fun. And then we went up to the condo in New Hampshire for the weekend, and then came back last night. So it was definitely an on the go, not a very relaxing weekend, but it was fun nonetheless. So I'll take it.
Awesome. Do you guys do you do a lot of work when you're up there?
No, I didn't do any work this weekend. Didn't take the laptop out. Kristen left her laptop at home, and it was good. Took him to this theme park. He went on a bunch of new rides. I went on one of the new rides, got absolutely soaked. I wasn't thinking I was going to get soaked. And then it was a kind of a dumb idea to go on like a waterlog ride, like for the last ride before you drive home for 3 hours. So I drove home soaking wet, but it was fun either way. So
nice. I feel like every time I'm at one of my properties, especially in the mountains, I'm always there. We're usually there for like 4 or 5 days though, but there's always something to fix up and work on. But
I've gotten really good at not doing that. But there'll be like other stuff that like I'll want to jump on the computer to get other stuff done.
Yeah.
I went up with my dad, who has a place right next to us that they rent out. And he was like, "Oh, I got to scrape this and paint this." I'm like, "You're not doing shit this weekend. We're chilling. We're going to hang out. We're going to have fun. It's a short weekend." It was basically like a 24-hour trip, which is really short. We go usually for at least 3 to 5 days, but now that he's starting soccer, I can't leave until later Saturday, and then he's back in school Mondays. So it's kind of like screwing up my routine a little bit here, but it's all good.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's get into it. I know the topic for today is something that we talk about a lot, but I've got a video that I'm going to post here in the show comments for you guys. And the video is from one of the biggest personal development, personal improvement coaches out there. Really from what year was Nightingale pretty big?
This was back in like the 50s. So like, Bob Proctor used to work at Nightingale Koenig back in the day, and then he kind of split off to do his own thing. But like these guys were some of the pioneers of like personal development. Like Nightingale Koenig was like the company, and they had like a lot of audio tapes and stuff like that, but Bob wanted to do more of like the live events, and they didn't really want to do that, so he kind of broke off and like did his own thing. But these are some like the OGs of like personal development. And this one is so good. I mean, it's nice and short. It's like 31 minutes, so it's one that you can listen to on the commute to work or on a walk, or I listen to it to go get coffee. But this is one that you definitely want to listen to on repeat for a couple weeks at least. I actually hadn't listened to it in a while, so it was good to listen to it again, like prepping for this. But it's really good, man. And it's crazy just how the principles that were taught, that these guys were teaching back in the 50s, and even Napoleon Hill back in the 30s and 40s, like they're still relevant today. And I think that's one of the keys for like success. Like it leaves clues. Like the principles don't change. Like they're the same. So you just apply them to today, and it's the same. So
yeah, history really repeats itself, and especially in his talk. Like there's 5 bullet points I wrote down, and I'll talk a little bit more about them, but they were created in the 50s by this guy Earl Nightingale, but still we're here in 2021, and the concepts are so spot on for everyone. So especially those that were born and have lived here in the United States.
Yeah.
And he, in the 50s, he called it the golden era of how we those born in the United States and those living here can really do whatever they want, and most people don't. So that kind of kicks off of the first takeaway that I had, and first thing that I wrote down in my notes is, he says, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
I want to pause you real quick. So one of the first things that they had me do in this mastermind that I joined, I don't know, a year and a half ago, was write out that statement. So success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And take a step back and read it again and look at what part of that statement jumps out at you, and that will tell you where you're at on your journey. So like initially, it was progressive for me for a long time, because I was making progress towards that goal. And then a little over time, it kind of shifted to realization, and now it's back to worthy ideal. So like, what's that next thing that I'm going after? But it's fascinating if you do this, like just read it and just take a second and just be honest with yourself. Which part of this jumps out at you? Like which piece of that sentence jumps out at you, and it'll indicate where you are on this journey right now.
For me, and I know we did this exercise, like 6 months ago. For me, it's a worthy ideal. Mm-hmm. So it's getting very
makes
clear
sense based on what you and I have talked about offline.
Yeah. It's really just figuring out what is a worthy ideal? What do we really want to be doing in like almost to the hour or even to the minute of each day? Because each day is a gift, really. So what would be the worthy ideal that would make me happy?
It's the goal, man, but it has to be something big enough that's going to like drive you, that's going to motivate you. Like the money's cool, that's fine, but tends to not be enough. Like it's the reason behind the money. Like, what are you going to do with it? What is it going to do for you? And that will give you more fuel that way than just focusing on a specific number.
Yeah. And I know you and I talked about this 2 weeks ago, is for me, I want to make the biggest impact in my community as possible. Now that's very broad. So it is a worthy ideal for me, but it's a very broad statement. So I'm trying to get very clear on what do we want to be doing? How are we helping our community? Like with 9/11 being 2 days ago, and 20 years since the tragedy happened, I thought a lot about, and have thought a lot about the last 5 years, joining the military in some fashion, and really giving back to the country or protecting this country. And I've thought about it more. I'm like, well, that's not where my skill set is currently. It's something that I definitely could do if I really wanted to, but what would I be very happy with personally myself? And I think it's more of helping other people realize the amount of freedom that we currently have and maximize their potential. And that's, when I get that, I get goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now. That's what my worthy ideal is. So, and that's what I'm thinking about every day and writing it down every day.
I was planning to go live on Instagram on 9/11, and then just the timing didn't just line up for whatever reason. But I was going to talk about that. Like when I think about all those people that lost their lives, like they would have given anything to like spend some more time with their families or whatever. And if they did make it out, I guarantee they wouldn't be shy about going after their goals. Like they got another chance, and we get another chance every single day. So stop wasting it over fears of insecurity or people's opinions or whatever it is. Like you could be done tomorrow. Like you could be done today. Like don't take that for granted. Like you get one shot at this thing. Like maximize it. Who cares if somebody says no? Who cares if you look foolish here and there? Like who cares? Who cares? Like you don't want to get to that point where it's your last day and you're like, man, I never really went for it. I never had the guts. That would eat at the soul right there.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you're ready, that's kind of a good segue into the second thing I wrote down watching this video was the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardness, it's conformity.
So good. So good.
So it's conforming to everything that's going on around you. Like we're always taught to, go to school, get good grades, take good notes, go to university, get good grades, get a good job, work in that job, start a 401k, start an IRA, make sure you get life insurance. Like those are the normal things. Like eat at McDonald's, that's a normal thing. There's some good habits that are starting to come up more with fitness and stuff like that, but the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it's conformity. It's conforming to what everybody else is doing or watching or saying, and just being in that group. And to have the courage to break away from that and be different and be a little bit weird is taboo. However, it's the only way our society will continue to grow.
One of the readings that we were doing was about Walter Chrysler, and he went out and he bought a Ford, and then he went home and he literally spent every dime he had to just buy this car. And then he went home and he took it apart piece by piece by piece, put it back together again, and then took it apart and then put it back together. And all of his neighbors were like literally ready to call the asylum and like have him committed. They're like, what is wrong with this guy? But they didn't see like what he was doing. Like there was a method to his madness. And now like the reading was like, there's no other skyscrapers with anybody else's name on it but his, because he was okay with looking weird, because he was driven by some purpose that he was going to figure this thing out. So who cares if you look weird? People think I'm weird all the time. I don't really care, man. Like, what do you mean you're not doing that? Or what do you mean you're doing that? Like, I don't really care, dude. You do you. Like, I could care less.
Exactly. We don't have enough time to worry about whatever any other people think about what our idea of success looks like.
And I know it can be easier said than done, because I suffered from that for a long time. But when you let go of that needing to please everybody, you can start focusing on what you want. And that's the real freedom that we have. What else you got? What's third on your list?
Number 3 is people are always blaming circumstances for what they are. So blaming the circumstances for, not having enough time or not having enough money or not having enough, whatever the resource is. So the people
I'm from this neighborhood, or I'm from that neighborhood, or I'm from this political party. Like, it's all just bullshit. You just got to own your shit. We all deal with stuff. We're all going to have negative stuff happen. Some people have tragic things happen to them. It's what you do with it that matters. Like, that's it. That's it at the end of the day. Like, you can sit on your pity pot all day long and blame everybody else. And guess what? You're going to be a victim your whole life. And guess what victims do? Not a whole lot. And they're miserable and they don't create anything. And that's it, man. So don't be a victim. Like, nobody likes a victim. Like, it is what it is. Like, get out there, fix your shit, own it, and keep moving forward.
Yeah. And they find the right circumstances. And if they don't find them, if they can't find them, they create the circumstances. So that's another big part of it too. So it's like, all right, these things are all happening to me. These are the circumstances that are happening. I have every excuse in the world, but if I really know what I want and what that success looks like, I'll find the circumstances or create them. And that's, finding them is a lot easier than creating them, but you can do a little bit of both at the same time. But that part just kind of hit me, because it's like, there's so many things that everybody's going through.
There's never the perfect time, ever.
Yeah.
There's never a perfect time, period. There's just not. Of all this, if I look back over the last few years, like when things really started taking off, the timing sucked for so much of the stuff that we were doing. Like, my son was in the hospital. Like, there was so much crazy shit going on, and I'm out starting a new business and doing all this stuff and spending all this time doing that. And it was like, everybody was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is not the right time. And I was like, I decide when it's the right time. Like, it sounds corny, but like in that Rocky movie, right? Like, there is no tomorrow, man. Like, there is no tomorrow. Like, just get after it. What are you waiting for? There's never going to be that perfect moment. You decide that no matter what else is going on, I'm going to make time because this is important, period.
Yeah. And it's a good segue into number 4. Number 4 part was, or the 4th point is, you are what you think about.
That's the secret, guys. That's the strangest secret. That is it. I was going to save that one till the end, but that's literally it. You become what you think about. And we've talked about this on Mindset Monday before. I didn't make it up. Mike didn't make it up. Even Earl Nightingale didn't make it up. This is just a law of success. It's a law of humanity. You become what you think about. So like if you're thinking about negative shit all the time, guess what? You're going to find more negative shit. If you're thinking of positive stuff all the time, you're going to find more positive stuff. That is it. And it gets back to the whole self-image thing of, if you don't think you're worthy, guess what? You're not worthy. If you don't think you can do it, guess what? You can't. Was it Invictus? He who thinks he can, he who thinks he can't are both right. That's it. It's true. Because whatever you think up here, that is true. That's it. You become what you think about. Just be careful what you think about. If you're freaking out about COVID, whatever, everybody has their own beliefs. I'm not going down there, but like, if you consume yourself with that fear, it's going to consume you. Should you be careful if you have certain? Yes, absolutely. But you can't let that fear consume you. You got to do what you got to do, but don't let it consume you.
Yeah. And also the things that are coming into your brain too. Like, you got to watch out what you're reading, what you're listening to, what you're watching. If it doesn't relate back to what your success looks like. Like I found myself, I had this one goal of hitting 20K a month through real estate as a passive income stream. Set that goal at the end of last year. However, I was consuming all of your stuff, Mike, for short-term rentals. I was consuming Bigger Pockets. I was consuming another podcast. I was watching these movies about, the hotel makeovers or flips and stuff like that. And I was just consuming with way too many different things. But my main goal was to hit 20K of cash flow a month through real estate. And the quickest way to do that was through short-term rentals. And that's when I threw everything else out and started focusing only on short-term rentals and only on this goal. And yes, I get a little bit of education in other ways, I guess, kind of through being around it. But then we hit that goal in 6 months. So watch what you're.
Huge power and focus, man. I'm going to doodle something real quick before we get to the last point. So like, if you think of it this way, right? Like, we'll call this like the circle of focus. Now, if a light passed through this in any direction, it's going to go through and it's going to be like a laser beam coming out the other side. But if you start splitting it up into all these different areas, you got your job, you got this, you got some e-com business, you got some fantasy sports league you're a part of, you got this, you got this, you got this. When light's passing through here, it's going everywhere. It's not focused anymore. So this is your circle of focus. The more stuff that you can eliminate, the better your life's going to get. Or I shouldn't say the better your life's going to get. The faster your results are going to come because you're able to focus in one direction. Like, all of your energy can go to one thing. That's why now the stuff that I listen to, I used to read, a book a week or listen to a book a week on Audible on random stuff, which was cool, I thought, but it was all over the place. Instead of asking myself, where do I need help right now, and find 1 to 3 books on that topic and just dive deep on that one thing, because that's where I'm at now and that's where I need help now, instead of consuming all this stuff that I'm not going to need for another 2 or 3 years, or it maybe ever. Right? Like, if you're struggling with starting a business or starting short-term rentals, listen to the podcast, listen to this stuff, only consume short-term rental stuff. Like, simple. If you're scaling and you're growing a team and a business, cool. Focus on leadership and management. Just consume as much as you can about leadership, right? If you're focused on golf, in my case, right? Like, the only thing that was on my TV ever were the tournaments. And I was watching how each of them swung over and over again. I wasn't even looking at the scoreboard. I was just seeing, all right, how is he coming through the ball? How is she coming through the ball? Like, I was just studying, because that's what I was focusing on. So the more focus you can create, the faster your results are going to come.
Yeah. Last point, It's one we both do, and I know we preach. Write on a card what it is you want more than anything else. Make sure it's a single goal. It's clearly defined. Carry it with you so you can look at it several times per day.
I don't make this stuff up, guys. Like I told you, like I just learned it from people that are smarter than me and that were further ahead of me. Like this stuff works. It works. That's why one of the first things we have you guys do when you get into either accelerator or the mastermind is you create your goal card. It's that simple. And that goal can change over time, but like you want to keep that. You want to have that. I'm updating mine right now because we hit the last goal. Now it's on to the next goal, right? And I'm just fine tuning that image that I want. And then it'll go on the goal card and boom, it stays with me 24/7. I don't sleep with it, but it literally goes on the nightstand when I go to bed. Like it's there all the time. You want it to stay top of mind. So a couple of things, some notes that I took. I won't repeat anything that Mike talked about because some of them overlap. But he said, if you think in negative thoughts, you will get negative results. If you think in positive thoughts, you will get positive results, right? We touched on that earlier, but he says it blatantly in that recording. And then towards the end, he was talking about some psychologist or some scientist or something like that, that he laid out 6 steps for success. And he said, 1, set a definite goal. 2, quit running yourself down. 3, stop thinking of all the reasons you can't be successful and think of the reasons why you can. 4, trace your thoughts back to your childhood. When did you first start thinking about why you couldn't be successful? When was that first time that you started doubting your abilities? Because I know my son, he's 5. He thinks he can conquer the world, and he can. But at some point, that little switch flips. What was that point for you? Change the image you have of yourself by writing out a description of who you'd like to be. And again, this comes back to that whole self-image thing. Start writing out who is that person that's achieving those goals. And then lastly, act the part of the successful person that you've decided to become. You've defined it. You've written it out. Now be that person. Act like they'd act. Make the decisions they'd make. Dress like they'd dress. Drive what they would drive. Do all these different things. Become that person and the results will follow. Most people think, when I get the results, then it'll change me. No, you got to change to get the results. Mm-hmm. You can't be the same person that you are right now and expect to 10x your results. You have to grow and become that person, right? Whether it's in business, whether it's if you're looking for a partner, a spouse, whatever, a girlfriend, boyfriend, who do you need to become to attract that person that you want to have in your life? What kind of person do you need to be to attract that type of person? What type of person do you need to be to attract the team members that you need on your team to grow your business bigger? Like, who do you need to become to get to the level that you want to get to? One of the things that I loved about Jim Rohn was his mentor told him, he said, why don't you set a goal to become a millionaire? And this was back in the day when that was probably like 10 million bucks now. And he was like, you want to know the reason why you should? And he's like, dude, I know, like, I want to be a millionaire. And he's like, no, it's not about the money. It's about becoming the person you need to be to get the money. Because you've seen it with successful people all the time. They could file bankruptcy, they could lose it all, but within a pretty short period of time, they're going to get it all back because they've become a different person. They know how money works. They know how success works. Money is a reflection of the impact that you're making in the world. That's it. So whether it's positive or negative, whatever, but the more people I impact, whether it's clients, guests, students, the more money I make. It's a byproduct. The more value I put out into the world, the more money I receive. So if you're not very valuable to the economy, you don't make much money. So how do you become more valuable? How do you serve more people? What skills do you need to acquire and who do you need to become as a person? That's it. It's that simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Mm-hmm. So everything else you already ran through. So those are just a couple of things that I want to add in there. But again, yeah. I'd highly recommend it. Mike posted the link there. Watch that video, like on repeat for at least a week. Just listen to it. We'll have to do one on definiteness of purpose at some point too. That one's a little longer, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, that one's good. How long is that one? Like an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really good too.
Anything else you want to add in here?
No, I think that's it. Anybody have any comments? I know Katie's in here. She said, own your poop emoji. I like that. That's right. Own it.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing or just something that happens every day. Like, you got to take ownership of it. Love it. So we don't have a topic for next week. So if you guys have any topics you want to think about or any videos or anything you come across, send it to us. We'll take a look at it and we'll implement it here in Mindset Mondays.
I got one, Mike. Talk about decision making next week, because that's where the rubber meets the road. Yeah. People start making real decisions. We'll talk about what that means, but I got a good video for that too.
Yeah, I love it. Get 80% of the information and then go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. What do we got on tap for tomorrow?
Let's see here. I should have this pulled up every time, but I know I don't. I think it's actually relating to last week's on co-hosting. So what are some of the steps that you can take to find co-hosting deals? Like where to find co-hosting opportunities? And there's numerous different places, but yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow at 4:30.
Okay, sweet. Sounds good. All right, buddy. Appreciate you as always. Everybody else, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys ever need anything, post it in the comments. If you have topics that you want us to cover, make sure you check those out. We just released a podcast this morning. Ian and I did a solo one on should you get a partner for your business? That's a question I get all the time. And we come at it from a few different angles. So that'll be a good one for you. If you're kind of getting in the game or you're thinking about taking on a partner, definitely watch that or listen to it. And just be honest with yourself. And then next Wednesday, right, Mike? We got the webinar.
Yeah, webinar next
Getting the link together today. So we're gonna do another full 60 to 90 minutes, probably somewhere around an hour and 15. Deep dive on short-term rentals, how to launch, automate, and scale, what types of systems you need. Where do you find these properties? What do you look for when you're finding properties? Do you need to be in a big city or a vacation town? How much time does it take? How do you really dial it in? We'll break down co-hosting, all that good stuff. So real deep dive training on it. We'll have the link ready to go for that. When JM has it, Mike, maybe we'll just pop it down in the comments for the people catching the replay. And then we'll share it again tomorrow for Tuesdays with Mike and Mike.
Cool.
Anything else, buddy?
No, that's it. It was good. Another good one, and excited for next week too.
Awesome. Appreciate you. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.